Before I start the video, I'm just going to say that I'm using most of the same materials as last time, a big grip stick pen, but this time in the color black. And along with that, I also have an eraser and a pencil drawing underneath, but you probably won't see either of those two items. Anyway, let's get into the video. Oh, it's almost April. Can you believe it? It's literally just like springtime where I live. Most of everything is pretty much in bloom and such, and so is the channel. As with a new little addition right here in the corner, I believe, um, I'm beginning to feel that creative energy of making stuff again. And that means my sketchbook is almost done, which means it is almost time for more sketchbook tours, and I hope that this repetitive content is not too repetitive. And I hope you know exactly what that means, because that means we're gonna probably start a sketchbook on the channel, the first one. It'll be Lucky Sketchbook number 7, and I hope it's gonna go okay. I'm very excited to record my very first starting a sketchbook and probably an ending a sketchbook drawing. I'm pretty much almost done. I think I have like 12 pages left, and I plan to fill them. I'm not an art block anymore, and I've just kind of accepted that my style is not going to be totally consistent all the way through. If you may notice, my characters in this one actually have pretty interesting thighs, I may say. Like, they kind of jet out a little bit. Usually I draw perfectly kind of straight legs, but I do like to experiment a lot. And I've just kind of embraced that my style doesn't always have to be fully consistent. It can have little, different variations and stuff like that. I'm definitely hoping to keep to a better schedule now. Not in art, but in general video uploading. I originally wanted to upload about every so often, like on a specific day, like every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, like one of those certain days. Just so I had like a week to work on a video or even a bit longer if needed. Sometimes videos get done faster and I'm more productive. But I've been procrastinating this voiceover for a while. I was originally supposed to do it Friday, and then I procrastinated it till Saturday and then Sunday, and now it just happens to be Monday. I may upload it today or I may upload it tomorrow. I don't know. I used to always think it would be a smarter idea to upload everything on Saturday, which it kind of is if I'm thinking about it in the right capacity mind. But at the moment, I do like having a video to upload each morning on Monday, and then I can just go about the week with the rest of everything I need to do. Most of these drawing with pen videos don't require a lot of editing. They actually mostly require me to I do take away the erasing, because the erasing shakes the camera really bad and I don't want anyone to get motion sick. So, like last time, I mentioned that I totally forgot to I guess I totally forgot to edit out some of the erasing bits. And it was a little bit frustrating. But you kind of have to move on sometimes, and it's okay. I mean, I recorded a lot of audio that time, and I had to continuously record the same thing. If I may say, some people are really good at voice thing. Like, they have a good, strong voice, they can record one-liners all the way through. I personally actually have quite choppy because I find really good spots to end it and I don't want to ruin the rest of the audio, so I kind of stop it there. Like, right now, I'm 32 seconds in because I just chopped up my audio. I chop it because it makes it easier for me to edit and be able to see when needs to be erased and done. It isn't intentionally a bad thing, it just sometimes sounds like my voice gets inconsistent because sometimes I have to cut my audio in half. Go from night to day and talk quieter or louder depending on it. Sorry about anything you hear. I think someone just went upstairs. I'm recording underneath a room. But yeah, it gets inconsistent and it just kind of falls apart. Okay, let's talk about new sketchbooks now, because, it's kind of a relevant thing. We're having lucky number 7 sketchbook, and 7 is one of my favorite numbers, so I want to make it a good sketchbook. I have one already pre-picked out, and no, it is not one like this. It is one with a better binding, the metal ring one, the one I literally talked about in a video where I literally just hated on my sketchbook. Yeah, I have one of those now. The problem is I've actually used this brand before, and I've noticed that pencil smudges super, super bad on this paper. I am really reliant on pencils. I love pencil sketching. I have been trying to push myself outside of that and use things like paint and markers and pens more. And I think I'm right now in an interesting phase with my art. I really like how a lot of my pencil sketches turn out. The problem is I'm gonna probably have to get used to using other mediums. One of my biggest goals is to get my art into a very interesting looking point. You know, when you look at a certain piece of art and you're like, that's pretty flat coloring. But then you look at another one, you're like, how does blue go on skin? Like, I've mentioned this before, but it's kind of one of the goals that I want to get my art to, where, you know, it kind of fits. And I kind of already had a picture already drawn for this that I never ended up inking for this one. But I am not fully proud with the way that this turned out, even though I'm using pen, and I love pen. It's one of my favorite mediums to use. It doesn't always work fully, you know? And I'm just gonna say that at this little moment, my art was very insecure, and I couldn't really figure it out. I'm just trying to embrace that my art is not realistic anymore, or even attempt. I've been looking back a lot on my old art to kind of see what old me had ideas about, and I've noticed at first my characters were a bit thicker, and you may notice that in my bigger sketchbook. And then they went to thinner, and then thicker, and now they're kind of more in between. I don't mind drawing either bodies, it's just I was really inconsistent about it. Like, for instance, I would only draw thin people, and then I'd only draw a bit more on the weighted side, but I wouldn't draw any variation, like skinny and a bit plumper. I don't want to be rude. I'm very sorry if this is very offensive, but I just mean, like, I had a really big problem with body proportions, and I think now that I'm just kind of embracing that my style is cartoony and I can literally do whatever I want and nobody is going to care enough. And if they do, they can go suck a lollipop. Please don't ban me, YouTube. And yes, I do find it important to draw different body proportions. I think it is important to draw a little extra on the top or a little extra on the bottom or a little less on the top and a little less on the bottom, you know, depending on the character you're going for. And I do think it is important to draw different heights, different gender, different, you know, everything. I obviously shouldn't be the one talking about different genders, as I normally usually draw girls, but I'm trying to get better at boys? Question mark. I would like to draw both, because I'd like to make fan art for different things, and I literally never draw fan art. I'd also like to have non-female characters. I would like to also have some male characters, or even whatever's in between. You know, that kind of thing. But, like, I know how to draw the body proportions. I just refuse to draw the body proportions for either. I really just like drawing hair a lot. I like drawing I have different parts that I like a lot. And a lot of times I really like drawing long hair. Short hair is really not my thing, but I guess it's a good time to call it practice time. Which I probably should have just done for this video instead of rambling on continuously for multiple minutes, wasting more time of your day than you wanted. So yeah, I guess this was just really a ramble about style. It has been for the last few days, and I know that probably is kind of frustrating if you're looking for something to watch that is talking about one certain subject or even talking about the actual art piece. But I think it's good to talk about what's relevant to you. So, like, maybe next week or even a few weeks from now, or just next video in general, we'll talk about something completely different. Maybe it'll talk about how gosh freaking hot it gets, or how gosh freaking cold it's getting, or something like that. It's, like, you know, I think it's important to talk about something that is kind of close to you, you know, like, what's happening around you. I also think it is important to talk about a certain subject sometimes. I do find it is fun to talk about a certain subject. You know, talk about certain books and stuff. I have done that before. I would also like to mention that I will probably make a video recommending books to you because I've read over 100 for this year. And I've read a lot of books and I have a lot of recommendations. So probably look for that. Do not hold me to a T because my brain will not always remember everything I say. But I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to talk about books because they're one thing that I love to do a lot. To read a lot. That's what I do. But I think it's important. I think it's important to read because you're exercising those muscles. But why should I be talking? I'm homeschooled. I don't go to school. Okay, we have a tiny bit of time. I messed up at the top when I signed my signature, and also, shameless little plug, but also kind of slightly shameful. I have a Pinterest account. You can go follow me. It's Nibs of Sketching. That's pretty much what I am on most platforms. Go have a lovely day. Go drink a cup of tea or have a lovely snack. Be safe, and I'll see you later. Bye! Oh, by the way, thank you for the extra subscriber and for all the views on my last video. It's not as many as last time, but it still makes me happy. Now go have a lovely day and bye.